Hello and welcome to SGN Tech Forum. So today in this video we are going to talk about home internet, and a quick disclaimer, this is not going to be a very technical video, rather it's going to be a usability video. That means anyone who has like a lot of internet devices, your laptop, printers, your smart devices like your smart lock, your thermostat, your washer dryer, everything connected to internet, how you can secure them, right? And if you don't know much about your home environment, you can follow along with me and probably use the same thing what I'm using it for myself. All right, so we'll start with the first point, which is router. Most of us we use internet service provider provided router. That means the hardware is provided by them. Sometimes we also buy them just to save some rental cost, but it doesn't make difference. They are essentially doing the same thing. So how you will find your router, whether you can go to your browser and try to look for an IP address. I'll give you the link later in the video how to find your IP address, but most of the home environment uses 192.168.1.0/24 range. And if you don't understand this, don't worry about that. Let's log into our router. By default, most of vendors, they set the router IP address to this one. Once you click this on your browser, you are going to come to your service provider page. I'm using Charter Spectrum. It's been like fantastic for me so far. So, but even if you're using Google or anything else, you can probably reach to their page. And then it's asked for a username and password, right? So most of these providers, they have their default username and password, and it is set to very, very weak password. If you are not sure what is your Spectrum username and password, just Google it. It is admin. Since I'm using it, I know it. But it's, you can see, right? Anyone can guess. If they are connected to a network, they can simply log into this. All right, I don't want to see ads right now. I'll talk about the Brave browser later. All right, so let me log in. Since I have logged in before, I have changed my password, but when you are logging first time, you have to use the default one, which is admin. Well, don't save it. This is my new browser. Actually, first time I'm using this browser, Brave browser, and I'll talk about that in the last part of the video. All right, as you log in, you can see your public IP and your internet status. You are connected to internet, and you can see my public IP. This is dynamic. It changes. It's not fixed. All right. So what you can see here, as you come to the landing page, right, there are 3 tabs. This may differ if you are a not Spectrum customer, you are Google customer. So my goal is not to educate you about Spectrum, but just to tell you why we are here. All right. So what I want to do, I want to first change the password. That's the first goal. All right. So, and sometime, trust me, it is very tricky to find where to go and change the password, because that thing is like hidden under a lot of tabs. Okay, so let me find that, and you can see here I have users, and this is my default username. Password, I can simply put my old password and change it to something new. And when you're changing password, just a quick tip, try to use a passphrase rather than one word password, because one word passwords are vulnerable to dictionary attack. So try to put a passphrase which you can remember, like SGN Tech Forum is awesome. That is for me. It's a long one, but yes, I may like short it for doing some abbreviation, but yes, try to use some passphrase. So the first thing what you want to do is change the password and then come back and log in again. I have already changed my password, so I'm not going to do that. All right, let's quickly look at some other features. So you do have parental control available. So if you have kids and other, you can pick your device. You can pick your device and then simply say that, okay, I want to enable parental control on that. So my daughter's iPad actually is not right now online, so let's pick anything. Maybe my wife's iPhone, right? And you can simply say that, okay, I want to deny or allow and allow the parental control. But parental control essentially doesn't block your internet traffic. It just try to sanitize it. Okay. So why we are here again, we wanted to change the password, and then click on the home button, go back. And if you are using a smart home kind of scenario, which I know a lot of people are using nowadays, like Ruku's wireless, so you have APs mounted on your ceiling or something, and those APs are actually serving your SSIDs. All right, so here two things we are going to do. First, we are going to see what SSID we are broadcasting using router. Okay, so you can see this is the Spectrum created SSID. Sometime we still use this long company created SSID because we don't know where to go and create a new SSID or more familiar SSID. Many users don't know that, right? So this is your SSID, and if you are using only router, no APs, then what you can do, you can simply come here and then maybe. All right, so as you can see, this is my vendor provided router, and it gives me very limited things. That means it gives me all Ethernet connected, the wired connected host, actually three SSID, one for guest, one for 2.4 gigahertz radio, one for 5 gigahertz radio. If you don't understand this, think of it like 2.4 gigahertz is for legacy or old devices. Most of your IoT devices like your thermostat, your doorbell, they only support 2.4 gigahertz. So those are low speed routers, and you still that is why you still need 2.4 gigahertz SSID. All your computers nowadays, your personal computers, they all support 5 gigahertz, so they will be connecting to this. So when you are connecting to SSID, if you can differentiate between 2.4 and 5, it is better for you, so that you know you will get the best speed, right? Otherwise, if you have just one SSID which will be serving both 2.4 and 5, sometime it may negotiate 2.4 only. So basically, the best practice is to have three SSID, in my opinion, one for 2.4 for all your IoT devices, one 5 gigahertz for your personal use, and then you can have one for guests, so that if the guests show up, you don't have to share your own password, personal password with them. You can have a dedicated password or dedicated SSID for guest, and they can simply use that for their internet access till the time they are at your home. All right, so if you are only using vendor router, you are stopping here. But some smart home users, they have APs, and AP comes with inbuilt radios and SSID, and most of the time home user doesn't know, but he is using multiple SSID, few from the router, few from the AP. I myself was in the same position. So best thing what you can do, if you don't want, you can disable these SSID on router and just use your smart home AP for all your SSID management, because there are more things you can do with those dedicated solution. So what you can do, you can simply click on these guest SSID or any of the SSID. You can change their username, password. You can disable and enable them. So as you can see, this SSID is off. That means it is not broadcasting. No one can see this SSID when they try to look for the wireless connection available. But if I want to use, I can simply come here. I can give it any friendly SSID like my home or anything like which can signify something to me rather than a junk number, right? And then you can select what kind of security you want. Mostly you just want a WPA2 personal, that is a password. All right, so let's not spend much time here and go to AP solution. So how you will find that AP which is mounted on your ceiling, what is the IP address for that, right? So when the vendor mounted the IP address AP on your ceiling, they probably ask you what SSID you want, and then you said that okay, this is my SSID. Like I said, I want Akshu 729, and this is my SSID. So this is the IP address I need. Okay, so this is the IP address I'm going to use in my browser. That was 108. And again, you are presented a screen from the vendor. Rukus is the vendor this time, Rukus Wireless. That's the home AP solution. I don't know username and password. So what I can do, I can simply go ahead and search for it. Like there is a very nice website called 192.168.1.1 .ip.co something. It's not cache. Let me go to Google, and I'm going to put the link in the description if you want. Not .com, but yes, .co. Something called .co. Yes. Bookmark this. This is the one place where you can educate about yourself about 192.168, and at the same time find your gateway IP address and any of the vendor IP address and how to reset and all those things. Very nicely written blog. In this website you can find all the default username and password. So for Rukus, generally it is again admin or admin. Password is sp-admin, and I'm going to put a screenshot in my description so that you can look at that. Okay, maybe I can show you. If I got the screenshot here, yes. So admin and password, or admin and sp-admin. That is the username and password you can use. So you can use the default username and password, but since I have already changed it, I'm going to use my username and password here. Once you come here, you will see 4 tabs: Internet, Wi-Fi network, client, access point, and admin and services. If you own this product, spend time clicking through this. This is fantastic. So first tab, it gives you that if you are connected to internet or no, what is your gateway IP address, what is your DNS IP address. Again, you can see my vendor router, Spectrum router, is serving as a DNS. Right, Wi-Fi network, here we are doing all SSID management, right? So I don't want to use Spectrum as my SSID. I want to use my Rukus, so that's where I'm going to create SSIDs, and as you can see, I have one 5 gigahertz SSID, one IoT, which is 2.4 gigahertz SSID, one is for guest, and something to scare which is right now disabled. This is for my testing. All right, so how you can create Wi-Fi network? You can come here, click create, give it a name. Since it is not a guest, and we'll talk about guest a little bit later, give it a name, something random, whatever you want. Then select the encryption authentication method is open and encryption as WPA2, and put your password. This is the bare minimum things you want to create SSID, and use the same password to connect to that SSID. If you want to do more advanced stuff, what you can do, and click on advanced option, and this is a little vendor specific, but think about it like in more generic term, that once you create your SSID, what else you can do. All right, so very quickly what you can do, come to radio channel, and you can select which frequency band you want to use. So I want to use 5 gigahertz band, so I can select only 5 gigahertz or 2.4 or all radio. That means both 2.4 and 5. All right, what else you can do? You can have access control, which is a little advanced or technical topic, but you can at the same time create application visibility. That means you can set policy that I don't want a online game in my network, or I don't I want to see how much Netflix I'm using, how much YouTube I'm using. Those visibility into your application you can get using application policy. And I'm not going to go in detail about that. Maybe I can do a follow-up video about this if people are interested. All right, so this is the thing you need. You need name, you need authentication method as open so that anyone can try to connect, and then encryption method WA2, so your password is encrypted, and then you put your password, and if you want you can come to radio channel and select the frequency band. That's all you need for your WLAN SSID. So I have created two. One, I will recommend you create at least two, one 5 gigahertz, one 2.4 gigahertz, so that your smart devices, they don't lose connectivity, right? Then you can have a guest one also, and let's quickly talk about guest. What is different in guest other than regular? So say give it a name, and then you have to select this checkbox. That's all you have to do, nothing else. Because when you do that, in the back end, what happened, that it applies policy. It applies policy that your traffic and guest traffic are isolated. Okay. You can put a password, unique password for each guest. Doesn't scale, so probably you can just say single password for all guests and put a password, so that next time when guests show up, you can ask them to connect guest SSID and give them this password. Okay. You can select that they may de-authenticated after 7 days or 1 day or whatever, and all those things. That's all you want to do. Advanced option, just for out of interest, I'm going to click here. Again, radio channel, you can say I want only 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz or all, and restricted subnet access. What happened? This is the by default, this policy happen, all those denies. That means guests cannot talk among themselves. But this is anyways a little bit advanced. You really need not to know this. Okay, so this is all about vendor router, and if you have a smart AP, then how you can manage it from its web interface. Now the second cool thing which I want to show you is, and for that I may have to connect to my app. So I'm going to pause this video here and we'll be back in a moment. So the final piece of the demo is Unleash app, the AP which I was using. So you go to App Store or Android Store, and you can type Unleash. Sorry about the fat fingers. Once you type Unleash, you are going to get Ruku's Unleash, and you will download. I have already downloaded it. That's why it says open. When you come here, click on Manage Network, because you are not going to install. You just want to manage your network. Click on Manage Network. It will ask you to do a login. You can do social login. That means you can log in using your Facebook or Google. Use whatever you feel relevant. And once you log in, it will detect your network automatically. Okay, because you are connected to that SSID. So I'm in my app now. I can see my network. Network is determined as SSID, the one you are connected to, and now it will show you a very nice snapshot of like how many SSIDs you have. That is 4 WLAN, 3 active, 1 inactive, how many client I have connected, how many APs I have, right? So all these things you can see very nicely on your phone using this, and this is very powerful. You can see all your APs. You can manage your AP, you can upgrade them, you can do any troubleshooting if you want. You can look at any client detail, any particular client detail, and the most awesome, what kind of traffic it is fetching, right? All the traffic detail. And last but not least, the most awesome part is you can manage your client using this app. That means you can select your client and block them, and at that very moment, that client will lose all internet connectivity. So sometime when my daughter is like glued to her iPad, I just use my app and block it, and she was like, come back with iPad. All right, so that's rude, but yes, You can filter with online, you can filter with block. Once you want to once you have blocked something, you can also unblock. So just go and filter with block, and then you can click the same button, it will unblock, back to normal. All right. The final piece is application recognition. So if you have application recognition enabled on your APs, then you can see all your network traffic per application. How much YouTube I'm using, how much Netflix I'm using, how much social networking, office things, everything is a nice snapshot for the whole network, whole SSID, or per client I can visualize from here. So this is really powerful, immensely powerful. If you can see, you have protected all your SSID, you have full control over your network, on your who is connecting to you and everything. So I highly recommend this. Please make your home environment more secure and get a control in your hand. Thank you.